Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about yellow journalism, fake news, journalistic bias. Use whatever terminology you want on it, but essentially the news portraying a story that really isn't the story. And it involves a swingers convention in New Orleans last week. So I just want to read you the headline from The Guardian on how this is being portrayed. Dozens test positive for COVID after swinger convention in New Orleans. Okay, they're making the assumption that the swingers convention was the root of this COVID outbreak. Let's look at the first paragraph here. 41 people have tested positive for coronavirus after attending a swingers convention in New Orleans in what officials have called a super spreader event. So I'm going to give you a little backstory here. This swingers convention, their keynote speaker was Brittany Lally. Maybe you don't recognize the name, but in the early 2000s, she broke onto the porn scene as the next, porn actor, but she was going to be big. She was going to be hot. Also in the early 2000s, there was a revival of musicals. I don't know if you remember that. All of a sudden, musicals were popular again. So the porn industry, as they like to parody different pop cultures, what's going on in pop culture, they decided they were going to parody the musical The Music Man, and they called it The Music Bang. Now the Music Bang really only used one line from The Music Man. Maybe you remember that song from The Music Man. It starts off, 76 trombones led to hit parade. Well, they took that line and they took the term, or the word trombones, they cut out the trom, and it just became 76 bones led to hit parade. Brittany Lally, sorry about that, Brittany, she was the hit parade of that movie. 76 men. Phenomenal feat. It was so good that year she took runner-up of Best Actress in the Southern District of the United States, mostly Georgia and Mississippi. But it was phenomenal, 76 men. Well, it was so good that she got the nickname. Her nickname was Super Spreader. So when she went and gave this keynote at this convention, as well as some demonstrations and hands-on tutorials, it became a super spreader event. That's the way they were billing it. So when this paper goes ahead and says this was a super spreader event, they're taking it out of context because they're basically saying this was COVID-related super spreader. Brittany Lally was the super spreader long before COVID even came on the scene. It's complete yellow journalism or fake news, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've never been to a swingers party, let alone a swingers convention. So when I read this story and I could see the words being twisted, I wanted to do more research. And I spent probably about, 15, 16 hours just watching amateur swingers party on the internet. I mean, it might have even been 1,000 videos, but I really just wanted to entrench myself in this culture so that I would have a deep understanding of what they do. Now, one of the things I noticed about this article was every time there's an event that COVID breaks out, they're always saying, the wedding had 50 maskless people. No one was wearing masks at this birthday party. For the swingers convention, they don't mention the mask one time. Why? Well, the reason being is because when I was going and doing my thorough research on swingers parties, there's a lot of masks involved. A lot of these people do have masks. I don't know if they're N95 masks, but you think the masks they give out at Costco or Walmart when you went to the store, those cloth masks, those aren't N95 masks. And I bet you these leather masks that most of the people were wearing do a lot more protecting than those paper masks. But do you hear the news media going after Costco or Walmart? No. Why? Because they're getting the advertisement. They have to have a story about COVID, but they're not going to go after their bread and butter, the people that are paying their bills. No, so let's go pick on the swingers convention, right? Absolutely ridiculous. And another thing I noticed when I was watching these swingers conventions was a lot of people actually had the the mouth blocked off. It was usually a ball in there. Sometimes it was biological, but most of the time it was synthetic, and that's probably blocking 80% of your extraction of saliva that would cause this COVID virus. Now I know what you're saying is 20% of that still coming out of the nose. Well, have you gone to Walmart lately? People are going dick nosing, which I guess, my wife told me about this term the other day, is when you cover up your mouth, but you leave your nose. It's the same thing as the ball in the mouth. They're just going after the small guy. And when I say small guy, I don't mean little people, because they seem to be involved pretty heavily in this swingers community. I'm talking about the small businessman who just wants to put on a convention for these people to enjoy themselves and have a little freedom during this time of stress. Sorry, I didn't mean to get that worked up about it. I just hate, I hate the way the journalists are treating this. Either way, I think I made my point. I don't believe that this swingers convention was actually the cause of this outbreak, or as they call it, the super spreader, because Brittany Lolly is the super spreader. I just think they just need a story to keep the eyes on the page and to keep people clicking and to keep making money, and they're not going to go after the big business. It's once again the small businessman, the local mom and pop shop on Main Street trying to have just a swingers party, and they're being shut down. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't want to get into politics, but there's my point on the matter. Anyway, if you guys like this video, if you want to hear more about how the media is destroying our country, follow me, hit like, hit share, and I would appreciate it. And keep watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.